If it's not true, he knew somebody that
Yeah.
that did it.
Yeah.
It could have been a cousin, or it could have been just somebody he knew very well.
When he first comes in there, he's like cool, calm, collected. So is there enough time to create that sense of trust? And I think what makes that work is meeting him on his level and talking to him about moonshine.
Moonshine.
Yeah.
My granddaddy was a phenomenal man. So many stories he would tell me. As the years went by, he slowed down, and I became his caretaker. One particular day, I had the urge to pick his brain more, and this story really stuck with me. In October of 1951, Atlanta saw one of the most deadly outbreaks of moonshine poisoning in U.S. history. 38 black men and women were killed, and over 400 others were left blind or paralyzed. Every black funeral home was packed with bodies, my granddaddy said. The culprit, John Fat Hardy, a bootlegger with a checkered criminal history who got his nickname, Fat Hardy, because he weighed over 360 pounds. Hardy was notorious for cutting corners to make cheap moonshine. That week, before the massacre, Hardy ran out of ethanol and replaced it with 54 gallons of pure methanol. Hardy was eventually arrested, put on trial, and convicted of murder, but that isn't the end of the story. While state prosecutors pushed for the death penalty, he was ultimately only sentenced to life in prison for only one of the 38 counts of murder. As my granddaddy recalled, rumor has it he was given a lighter sentence simply because Fat Hardy was too big to fit into the state electric chair. On April 27, 1967, he walked out of prison a free man.
The people was banned from drinking moonshine.
Even in more progressive cities like Atlanta, life in the Jim Crow South was untenable for black men and women. Subjugation had taken a new shape in things like segregation, mass incarceration, and institutional discrimination in employment, education, and political representation. Those barriers still exist to this day. The Bad Bad Whiskey Blues is a story about that powerlessness. There are many aspects of this story to explore, but right now, we're focused on a contained short film that features John Hardy just after his arrest in police custody at Fulton County Jail, where he meets his public defender, Roland, who just so happens to be a black man. In trying to discover the truth behind Hardy's motives, it becomes clear that Roland may also be concealing some motives of his own. Like with anything, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. And while it's a chamber piece, it's a period piece too. So it'll take some resources to make sure we can tell the story properly. We'll need a period-accurate location to play as Fulton County Jail in 1951. We'll need costumes and props from that era as well. And given that the short is essentially just one conversation between two men, we'll need the most valuable resource of all, time. To bring the story to life, we have director Raymond Wood at the helm. Raymond has directed several independent feature films. His most recent, Faceless After Dark, was just released in May. His short film Cells was executed in a very similar way, a single confined conversation that unfolds in a strikingly dramatic way. And it went on to screen at various Academy Award qualifying film festivals all over the country. As I look around today, I pinch myself at times, not believing how the world has evolved, but how some things never change. We have a responsibility to keep these stories alive, to prevent them from fading away into obscurity. And that's why it's important for me and my team to bring this story to the screen.